LFA 128, Mckee versus Clay, full card prediction. We got Aaron McKenzie and Lucas Clay in the main event for the lightweight division and the LFA vacant lightweight championship on the line. We got Jimmy Lawson, in my opinion, a future either Bellator fighter or a UFC fighter, in my opinion. He's a very, very solid heavyweight, fighting a super heavyweight in Marino Eatman, who I think he weighed in last time like 305 pounds or something crazy like that. This man is huge, but he has a little bit of a losing record against solid guys though. Devin Dixon and Richie Miranda, two undefeated prospects going at it. A D1 All-American wrestler, Bryce Meredith, taking on Jay Viola, who's quite old. Mckee and Jalen Jackson right there, and then Rex Shields and Thad Jean. So this should be a solid card. We'll get in the first one in the LFA welterweight division. Rex Shields and Thad Jean in the welterweight division. This is a pretty solid fight in my opinion. I mean, he's 23 years old taking on a 27-year-old guy. The winner of this one, I should expect to get one more little prospect fight against another undefeated guy inside the LFA. Then after that, they're looking at maybe one or two more wins to possibly fighting for the LFA belt and maybe getting into the UFC not long after that. They both lost to very solid guys. The guys that Dajin has been beating and losing, I mean, look at this list. Roman Feraldo, the man that is undefeated in Bellator, 7-0, knocking out Kelvin Rainford, Robert Turnquest, Trevor Goody, Pat Casey, and so many other guys. Even Delano Taylor right there, he knocked him out in the second round. That is a guy fighting in the PFL. He's undefeated there and undefeated as an amateur. That is the only loss there for Thad Jean, along with a Jorge Gonzalez fight right there, who's, you know, not necessarily the best guy, but that other loss was very, very legit with Roman Feraldo, and he actually knocked out Delano Taylor, which is a very good win in hindsight. And Delano Taylor's only loss is to Roman Feraldo. He's beating a lot of solo guys in Titan FC. He was the champion, and now he's going to be fighting inside of the PFL. So that is another solid loss there, and another solid win for the Delano Taylor win right there. But now he's fighting Rex Shields, a very good wrestler. He's got really good takedowns and ground and pound as well. Just kind of looking to take it down, grind you a little bit, and either TKO you with ground and pound or get that decision win. He's got a lot of submission and TKO wins as an amateur. Also losing to a pretty solid guy, Josh Kinlan, a guy that did get a contract to the UFC, but it was kind of weird because I believe he tested positive for some sort of drug or performance enhancer or something like that. But I'm not too sure about that one, but Dajin is going to be the better striker. He is the better kickboxer. He is going to be a little bit younger. I think he's slightly going to be taller, lengthier. Yes, the wrestling does go to Rex Shields in the fight, but I think Dajin has enough willingness to defend these takedowns and enough hips to get away from that and kind of just get on the back foot, just keep on moving, just defend and sprawl on all of the takedown attempts from Rex Shields. Maybe we'll see one or two takedowns landed for Rex. That's why it is a pretty close fight. Even on the betting odds, it has it at -155 and then +125. It's a pretty close fight in my opinion. I am going to lead Thad Jean. They both fought very good competition, but Rex Shields, we haven't really saw him fight an opponent that's able to defend the takedowns, so we haven't really been able to see the striking. Every now and then we get to, and it's nowhere near that of Thad Jean. So I think the fight stays in the feet for the most part, and then Thad Jean gets the decision win right there. After that one, we go on to the LFA bantamweight division. If it's gonna press, never presses. We go on to the bantamweight division. Mckee and Jalen Jackson in the bantamweight division. I don't know how he's in the inside the LFA. He's 0-1 as a pro, getting submitted in the first round, then getting Darce choked and knocked out in his amateur career. So again, I don't really know how he's fighting inside the LFA against Mckee. I'm assuming they're just trying to get Mckee a pretty easy win, but he's coming off a win over another 0-1 guy. That's two 0-1 fighters in a row. Last time he got a second round knockout win. It should be a domination. I'm not going to say like a lock or anything like that, but Mckee should go out there and take him down and just absolutely destroy him with ground and pound. Look at the odds. Minus 900 for Mitchell Mckee. It is absolutely insane. They're definitely expecting him to do exactly what I just said. Take him down, ground and pound, and finish him there. Mitchell Mckee by TKO in the very first round. After that one, we go on to the 140 catchweight division. Bryce Meredith and Javiola in the catchweight division. In between, featherweight and bantamweight. So we have Bryce Meredith, who is 1-0, getting a TKO win over Steven Morrill. If you watch that fight, he's got a lot of heart. I mean, Bryce Meredith ate a few shots. I believe he even got knocked out in that fight. Came back and he got that TKO win in that fight. So he's fighting a guy that's losing to solid guys, Fernie Garcia, who I believe he's fighting in the UFC. Then Mitch Raposo, who fought on The Ultimate Fighter and fought on Dana White's Contender Series. Beat a lot of other solid guys, but it doesn't show the age right here. But he's a little bit over 40 years old. I know what the LFA is trying to do. They're trying to build up the record of Bryce Meredith to like 4-0, 5-0, 6-0 even, and then give him a title shot inside the LFA. They're not trying to give him like super good strikers or anything like that. They're just trying to give him some guys, pretty average in every facet of the game, pretty average striking, average wrestling, average grappling, just so Bryce Meredith can employ his D1 level wrestling, his All-American wrestling on his opponents and just dominate them on the ground. So yeah, Bryce Meredith should definitely win the fight, but I mean, look at these odds. Let's see if I can find a minus 2,000 from minus 400. It literally dropped. Look at that time, 15:26 to 16:06 in the span of 40 minutes. The odds doubled, tripled, quadrupled in literally 40 minutes. That is absolutely insane. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go Bryce Meredith to win that fight. After that one, we go on to the 160-pound catchweight division. Devin Dixon and Richie Miranda in the catchweight division of 160 pounds. Not entirely sure who is the one that kind of made the fight go to a catchweight fight, but it should be good. Devin Dixon is a solid striker. He's got a really good kicking game, going out there, submitting some guys, and leg kick knockout on Michael Laya right there, and a doctor stoppage win as well. Coming off a draw with Darky Deca, and then a decision win before that. He is a Titan FC guy, finally making the move over to the LFA. I did predictions for a couple of these Titan FC fights throughout the years, and he's a solid guy. I don't think he's going to have enough with the wrestling and grappling game for Richie Miranda. Richie Miranda going out there getting submission wins over James Lynch, TKO win, a lot of decision wins, and then a very close split decision there. I know how good of a prospect Devin Dixon is. His leg kicking game is very legit. His grappling's pretty decent, but is nowhere near that of Richie Miranda. Richie should go out there, take the fight down fairly easily, and just control the fight. I don't think he's going to finish Devin Dixon. I don't think Devin's going to finish Richie Miranda. I think it's going to be a grinding fight. Maybe Devin can land one of the rounds, but Richie should overall just out-wrestle, out-grapple for the win. After that, when we go on to the heavyweight division, Jimmy Lawson and Marino Eatsman in the heavyweight division. That is a perfect last name, if I'm being quite honest with you, because the man is huge. He is 303 pounds in his last fight with Brett Martin. That last name is perfect for Mario Eatman. I'm going to say that right now. He's fighting out of MMA Masters, taking on Jimmy Lawson, who fights out of AKA. He should be a solid fight. Jimmy Lawson's a lot younger. He's a lot stronger, even though he's a lot smaller than Marino Eatman. But Marino's still going to have to cut all the way down to that 265 heavyweight limit. Jimmy Lawson goes out there with some solid wrestling, to be quite honest with you. Sorry, I had a hiccup, but yeah, he could go out there, take you down, and just ground and pound the heck out of you, but we saw what he was able to do in his last two fights, and it is insane. He literally gets your back to the cage and just start throwing bombs. He's got 2 knockout wins, adding up for a crazy total of 40 seconds in the very first round, with the wins over Justin and Anthony Garrett. So yeah, come on, man. This dude has crazy power on the feet. It is heavyweight, but still. And then even if he's not outstriking Marino Eatman, he can just take down Marino Eatman and TKO him there. So either way, on the feet, on the ground, whatever the case may be, he's going to win the fight. So Jimmy Lawson by TKO. And another huge favorite, minus 650 from minus 260. Yeah, those odds have definitely shifted in terms of Jimmy Lawson's favor. That is absolutely insane. Yeah, Jimmy Lawson by knockouts. After that one, we go on to the LFA lightweight division, Aaron McKenzie and Lucas Clay in the lightweight division. Lucas Clay Cassius Clay with 8 wins and 1 loss, only losing to Trey Ogden, I believe, a guy that may or may not be fighting in the UFC against Jordan Levitt in a little bit. I'm pretty sure he is. Yes, he is. He's fighting in the UFC on the Luque versus Muhammad 2 card. That is the only loss for Lucas Clay right there. Is a UFC fighter right here in Trey Ogden, a guy that's only lost to some Bellator fighters and then Thomas Gifford. I don't know what he has with Thomas Gifford, but Thomas seems to beat him every single time that they fight. But this should be a solid fight right here. I do believe that the wrestling and grappling is going to be very, very even. I do lean Lucas Clay a little bit in terms of that wrestling and grappling game, ever so slightly. He's a little bit taller, he's a little bit lengthier, which could help him out on the feet, but it could also help him out in he doesn't have to close as much distance as Aaron McKenzie does. So he's got a lot of submission wins, getting a Bravo choke on Jay Kozarski in his last fight, and then the triangle on a Craig Fruth, the triangle on Brant Moore, which was a pretty solid win right there. He was, I believe, an LFA champion for a while. The LFA champion or LFA title challenger or something like that. Do believe he was one of the two. I'm not really entirely sure though. Yeah, Brant Moore is a very solid guy, and he submitted him as well. But yeah, Lucas Clay's a very, very good jiu-jitsu guy. Aaron McKenzie, pretty solid wrestling as well. The wrestling advantage, I'll probably go Aaron McKenzie, but would he want to take down a guy like Lucas Clay? I don't really think so. And I think there'll be a couple of moments in the fight where we do see Aaron McKenzie actually get taken down by Lucas Clay. I think Lucas Clay's wrestling is a little bit underrated. So overall, in terms of the whole entire grappling game, the whole entire ground game of both Lucas Clay and Aaron McKenzie, I'm going to slightly lean towards Lucas Clay to have that, but the striking is very, very even as well. I think Aaron McKenzie is going to throw a little bit more volume. He's got the better kicking game, and he's slightly more powerful. Lucas Clay doesn't really have that one-punch knockout power to go out there, land that one punch, and just knock you out. Aaron McKenzie doesn't really have that either. I don't really even remember the last time this man has gotten a submission win, but it's a tough one. He's 33 years old. Lucas Clay is at 26 years old right there, so it's a very tough fight. I'm going to slightly lean Lucas Clay to win the fight. I think he'll land a few takedowns, which will give him a little bit of the rounds on those judges' scorecards, and I think on the feet, he's not dumb. He knows that Aaron McKenzie is going to go out there with a high-paced, high-volume game plan in terms of the striking, and Lucas Clay, in my opinion, is just going to counter, stay on the outside, and mix in those takedowns. So it's a very, very 50-50 fight, but I'm going to lean the slight underdog. I believe he's at plus 104 right now. I'm gonna lean the slight underdog in Lucas Clay to win that fight by a, let's go late submission. 4th round submission win for Lucas Clay. That is my full card prediction for LFA 128. I got the underdog of Lucas Clay winning. I got Jimmy Lawson knocking out Marino Eatman. Richie Miranda by decision. Bryce Meredith finishing Jay Viola. Mckee finishing Jalen Jackson. And Thad Jean winning that fight. LFA 128 full card prediction. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go.